the man who put the space in Sphinx's teeth. The man who knocked the hair off Hagler's head. Hey, Hannah, look at me. I'm your mother. Follow me, girls. We can never just go out and have fun anymore. She's always got to get all dressed up and put her stupid makeup on. And she don't even look no better. Look, Michael, I like to sing. But if you're going to turn this into work, I'm not interested. I'm only interested in you. Your parents? Uh-huh. They're a really nice-looking couple. Your dad's a doll.
How does someone go from singing in adult nightclubs at 8 years old in Louisville, Kentucky, to starring in Troop Beverly Hills, to moving to Atlanta in 2024 and creating a skating superhero character while running her own record label? Tasha Scott, the actress who played in Troop Beverly Hills. You remember her, right?
Daddy, shake the man's hand and let's be on our way.
The singer who started professionally before most kids lose their first tooth? The woman who had to sneak her childhood because she was performing in bars while other kids were playing with toys. And the same woman whose mother lied and said her uncle worked for Motown just to get her on stage. But here's what nobody talks about. Tasha Scott spent her 20s playing teenagers on TV because of that melanin, worked with everyone from Whoopi Goldberg to Jaleel White, and is now in Atlanta building a whole new chapter at 52 years old. No retirement, no slowing down. Just a woman who flipped the coin between New York and Los Angeles, let fate decide, and built a career that's still going strong 5 decades later. Louisville, Kentucky, July 16, 1972. Tasha Scott was born into a single-parent household where her mother, Joyce, worked 2 jobs to support Tasha and her 4 brothers. As the only girl among 5 siblings, Tasha knew one thing from early on. She could sing. Not just bathroom singing, not just church singing, real singing, the kind that makes people stop and listen.
So special, yeah.
And by the time she was a little girl, she knew she wanted to be famous.
The only reason why I like it because there's more opportunities out here for me in show business. And I just love to dance and I love to sing.
Just being young, coming up in Louisville, Kentucky, watching all the big stars on TV, by singing in my room and being a little shy, wanting to do it. And I was at a recreational center and I asked them if I could sing. They told me no.
Her mom saw the rejection, saw her daughter's dream getting crushed at a recreational center, and Joyce decided to do something about it. But what she did next would change everything.
So I went and told my mom, that I wanted to sing, and I told her what was going on at the rec center. So she took me up there to basically see if she could get me on the show, and they told her no.
Joyce lied. Straight up lies. Said Tasha's uncle worked for Motown and was in town to shoot her. And it worked. They let her on stage, and that lie became the beginning of a 50-year career. Because once Tasha got on that stage, there was no turning back. But performing at rec centers wasn't enough. By the time Tasha was 8 years old, she was singing professionally. Not in school talent shows, in nightclubs, adult nightclubs, with adult audiences. While other kids were watching Saturday morning cartoons, Tasha Scott was performing for grown people in bars.
Because I started out in the industry professionally at 8, singing in nightclubs. So I had that old soul, that adultness about me.
Think about that, 8 years old, in nightclubs. And because of that, Tasha says she had to sneak her childhood. Most kids sneak candy or stay up past bedtime. Tasha had to sneak being a kid because her life was so adult-driven.
So by the time I hit 18, I was living backwards.
And she got so big in Louisville that something had to change because Louisville wasn't big enough for what Tasha wanted to become. She told her mom they needed to move to a bigger city, and there were only 2 options, New York or Los Angeles.
I got so big in Louisville, Kentucky. I basically told my mom that we needed to move to a bigger city to pursue my career. And, we sit around the kitchen table and we thought about it, we flipped a coin, and we say either New York or Los Angeles, so Los Angeles won.
They flipped a coin. That's how one of the biggest decisions of Tasha's life was made. Heads or tails? New York or LA? The coin landed in Los Angeles. And at 10 years old, Joyce packed up her daughter and 4 sons and moved the entire family west. But when Tasha got to LA, she thought she was just going to sing. That's it. Perform in nightclubs like she'd been doing, book some gigs, live the dream. Nobody told her that in Hollywood, you need to be more than just one thing.
And that's when they told me that I had needed an agent to be on TV, commercials, and be on sitcoms and, acting. And I was like, oh, no, I don't do that. What I do is sing. But they basically said that I would have to be an all-around talent.
At first, Tasha said no. She didn't do acting. She was a singer. But they explained, if you want to be on TV, in commercials, on sitcoms, you have to do it all. Sing, dance, and act. Be an all-around talent. And Tasha realized those things would come with being in music anyway. So she dove in and got blessed beyond measure. But here's the wild part. When Tasha moved to LA, she lived there for about 2 years before booking a major role. 2 years of hustling, auditioning, learning the craft. And then finally, the breakthrough came.
My first acting role, I think it was The Jeffersons.
And I played one of the Red Robins in the Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons, the iconic Norman Lear sitcom with Sherman Hemsley and Isabel Sanford. Tasha played one of the Red Robins. And from there, the doors opened. 227.
That's all my heart to feel.
Then guest spots, then commercials.
And then my first commercial, I believe it was for Alphabet cereal.
Alphabet cereal. That was Tasha's first commercial. Then came the role that would define her career for an entire generation.
First feature film was Troop Beverly Hills.
In 1989, Troop Beverly Hills hit theaters. Shelley Long, a comedy about a Beverly Hills socialite leading a Girl Scout type troop.
Cigars, cigarettes, peanut butter or mint.
Take American Express?
We prefer Blue Devil.
And Tasha Scott was in it, singing Cookie Time, the song that people still can't get out of their heads 36 years later. But here's what most people don't know about Tasha's career. And this was brought to her attention just a few years ago. Most of her work, she wasn't a child actress. She did maybe 2 to 4 things as an actual child. Everything else, she was in her 20s.
I only did a few things as a child actress, and most of everything else, I was a young adult.
Playing younger roles. The melanin, that beautiful black doesn't crack melanin that let Tasha play teenagers and kids well into her 20s. So the transition from child actress to adult actress, there wasn't one because Tasha was already an adult, just with a baby face. And the roles kept coming. Full House, South Central.
Look, I'm tired of watching you throw yourself at my brother. I mean, he ain't gonna get with you, all right?
Camp Cucamonga.
They're a really nice looking couple. Your dad's a doll.
Quantum Leap.
It's up to 5. You be quitting about now.
Guest spots everywhere, working with Jaleel White, Candace Cameron, learning from legends.
I was on a lot of things. So I don't want to say I was starstruck, but I was learning.
And through it all, Tasha was doing what she loved most, singing.
Giving me enough time in my life to...
Because here's the blessing. Almost every role Tasha booked required her to sing, dance, and act. She became known as an all-around talent, the triple threat. And her passion, her true love, has always been music.
I have been so blessed that just about everything I've done, it requires me to sing.
Oh, there you go.
Sing, dance, and act.
But in the 1980s, Tasha did something that terrified her. She stepped onto a stage, not a TV set, a theater stage. She was cast in The Wiz, the iconic black retelling of The Wizard of Oz, and it was her first stage play ever.
So stage plays, I did The Wiz in the 80s, and that was my first stage play. I was very, very, very scared.
She was scared. Stage acting is different. No cameras, no cuts, no do-overs. You mess up, the audience sees it. Everything is bigger, more movement, more upstage presence. But Tasha did it and learned another facet of her craft. Throughout the late 80s, 90s, and 2000s, Tasha kept working, building a career, building a brand. And somewhere in there, she had a son. One son, with his Black father. She has 4 brothers, all Black men. And growing up in the 70s in a single-parent household with a mother who worked 2 jobs, Tasha experienced racism firsthand.
I am a Black woman. I'm surrounded by black men. I was, coming up in the 70s, and I kind of dealt with racism. I was singing in a lot of clubs, and they was not all Black clubs. But I just felt like because I was an entertainer, it was almost like we had a pass.
She was singing in clubs that weren't all Black, mixed crowds, and she felt like being an entertainer gave her a pass. People accepted her because she was the entertainment. But she saw racism, felt it, and decades later, when George Floyd was murdered and protests erupted, Tasha felt it deeply.
We do need change.
Yes.
And change is coming. It may be taking a little longer than we expect, and we have to have faith. That's it. Stand up for what we believe in and love.
She's a passionate person, emotional, sensitive, and she believes in love, peace, change. And she's seen change happen over her lifetime, even if it's slower than anyone wants. But let's talk about what Tasha was building behind the scenes. Because while she was acting and performing, she was also becoming a businesswoman. She started her own record label, Zanaya Music Group.
During the quarantine, I'm writing and I'm producing. So I'm looking to hopefully drop either another single or drop another full EP. So basically, I'm doing everything on my own right now.
During the COVID quarantine, when the world shut down, Tasha didn't stop. She wrote, she produced, she created an EP with a few collaborators, all on her own label. Because that's what artists do when they want to be household names. They build brands, they diversify, they create multiple revenue streams. And Tasha created something else, something that shows where her mind is. A character, a brand, Skater Girl.
I actually have all my products.
Okay.
And, I'm actually in the midst of shooting a photo shoot, recording a Skater Girl song. And this is basically something that I'm doing just basically outside of my career.
Tasha skates, roller skating, and she created a whole character around it. Designed t-shirts, recorded a skating song, planned photo shoots, because she understands branding. She knows that artists who last are the ones who dabble in jewelry, apparel, and cosmetics. The ones who see themselves as a full brand, not just a performer. But Tasha wasn't done creating characters, because at a comic convention recently, she revealed something else she's working on. A superhero named Moonchild.
My superhero character. So I want to be like a savior, but still have a weapon and powers.
They call her Moonchild, and she wants to create a superhero based on that energy. The moon, the child, a savior with weapons and powers. And she's working with artists to bring it to life, potentially turning it into a comic, an animation, a voice acting role, because that's another avenue Tasha is pursuing.
I've been getting a lot of offers for me to do voiceovers. And I would love to do that because I have an amazing voice. I have this kid voice there, and I can change my accent here and there. You know what I'm talking about.
Voiceover work. She has the range, the kid's voice, the accent changes, expressiveness, and she's getting offers. Doors are opening because even though Tasha has been in the industry for over 40 years, she's still expanding, still growing, still building. And in 2024, Tasha made a move that shocked people who knew her LA history. She moved to Atlanta.
Okay, I've been here 9 months. So in the 9 months, I've done 2 stage plays, and I did a sitcom starring the late great right now, Angie Stone.
After decades in Los Angeles, Tasha packed up and moved to Atlanta, Wakanda, the new Hollywood. And in just 9 months, she's already worked 2 stage plays and a sitcom starring the late great Angie Stone about her journey in the music industry with her girl group.
LJN, Lucky Johnson's studios, LJN. He has his own network and his own app.
The show is on LJN Network, Lucky Johnson's platform, his own app, his own network. And if it gets enough views and support, maybe it'll land on Amazon, Netflix, or Max. But for now, it's on LJN. And Tasha is adjusting to how Atlanta works because filming is different there. They can shoot a whole series in 3 days. 3 days. When you're professional and you know your craft, it moves that fast. Stage plays are still terrifying to her even after doing The Wiz in the 80s. But sitcoms, that's her wheelhouse. That's what she knows. She's confident Atlanta will be good for her. A fresh start, new opportunities. And she's already selling merch, Troop Beverly Hills pictures she's willing to sign and send out, Skater Girl shirts, building her brand one piece at a time. So let's talk about money. Because working for over 40 years, starring in a cult classic film, doing dozens of TV shows, running your own record label, selling merchandise, and still booking work in 2025, that adds up. As of 2025, Tasha Scott's estimated net worth sits at approximately $500,000 to $1.5 million. Not mega rich, but sustainable, especially when you're still working, still creating, still building. She's got residuals, merch sales, music income, acting gigs, and she's not slowing down.